Hello everyone, this is Dan Alexander with your inaugural Friday edition of the Weather and Marketing Business Report. As you may know, I am co-founder and chief meteorologist of Weather Alpha, and we're going to try to do these reports once a week or perhaps more frequently as conditions warrant. The goal of this report is twofold: to give folks an update on the ongoing weather, the weather pattern for the week. But secondly, uh, we would like to explore ways in which marketers can optimize their campaigns using weather intelligence. And at Weather Alpha, we've created actually a tool that allows marketers to capitalize on relevant weather for their product or service at the opportune time. And our proprietary software system called Weather Edge incorporates past, current, and forecasted weather customized around specific products and services to allow marketers to get their message out at the right time and give the consumer the right message associated with their product or service. And we'll get into some of those examples later on. But the theme of the day today is rain, and specifically it's Tropical Storm Andrea. This is a satellite loop from yesterday, actually, when the storm came on shore right near Tampa. And you can see this swirl in the atmosphere right here coming north, and a huge swath of clouds going all the way up the East Coast. That's more associated with the trough. The main storm is down in the southeast. But without getting too technical, there's going to be a boatload of rain along the East Coast, and that's going to mean a lot of different things for a lot of different industries. And let's get into that right now. So here's our weather and marketing update for today. Again, the theme is rain. And the headlines are Tropical Storm Andrea. It's the first named storm of this hurricane season. It's not a major storm when it comes to winds or storm surge. Winds are going to be relatively minor, but there is going to be a threat of flooding because we have a lot of heavy rain up and down the East Coast. We'll get to that in a second. And meanwhile, it's going to be warm and continuing dry out west, and probably for the next week or so. But again, let's get right to the meat of today, and that is the impacts from this massive storm. This is actually a map from the National Weather Service. It basically shows that there's going to be a huge area of heavy rain. Anywhere where you see this red shading is 2.5 inches, and this goes all the way up to 4.5 inches of rain. And just to give you an idea of that, that represents for most places between 1/2 to 1 month's rain. And this is going to be falling in about 48 hours. So just to give you an idea of how much rain is going to be falling from the storm system. But what makes this also particularly impactful is the fact that it's going to be falling on top of these large population centers. Places like New York, Philadelphia, D.C., all under the gun, all are going to be getting upwards of 4 inches of rain up and down the East Coast. Places in the southeast, Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville. You guys saw most of your rain yesterday, but places like Richmond, Virginia, Charlottesville, Myrtle Beach, you guys are still under the gun for some heavy rain today. And really, what makes this so important and so impactful and such a big factor in moving the needle from a dollars and cents perspective is that 50 million people at least are going to be seeing 2 inches of rain or more over the next 48 hours. And this will have major consequences on sectors of the retail industry, and we'll get to some of that right now. There will be winners, there will be losers, but there's always opportunity to use the weather, use this major storm system to optimize your advertising. And here at Weather Alpha, we'd like to talk about two types of impacts. There are direct products and services that are correlated with weather, particularly in this case flooding. You can think about home improvement, repairing your gutters, putting down wood stain, replacing some of those shingles that may have gotten blown off the roof. these are things that people are going to be buying over the next few days to prepare for this storm, perhaps in the aftermath of this storm. And I've included two major home improvement retailers here, Home Depot, Lowe's. They're both companies that should be targeting to the weather. Moreover, there's going to be a lot of flooding, as we know, and a lot of companies deal with this, provide a service to clean up. Stanley Steamer is one of them. I know I've used them. ServPro oftentimes cleans up basements. And both these companies see lifts in their sales around times like these when it's raining. So it would make sense for them to be upping their advertising around these periods too, perhaps in advance of the storm, while the storm is happening, after the storm is happening. Get some new customers. Get out there and be top of mind, not only for this storm, but when the next storm happens and people are getting flooded out of their homes. Secondly, or one other industry that's largely impacted, and as you know, flooding, or you may not know, flooding is the biggest threat to homeownership. And I've given two insurance companies here. There are many others, but this is a really great time to either connect with your current customers, let them know that you're there for them, or to reach out and try to get new customers around times when people are thinking about protecting their homes. So we have also apparel impacts. North Face, LL Bean. These are companies that provide rugged apparel, get you outdoors in any weather. Just because it's pouring rain outside doesn't mean people don't have to go to work. Moreover, automotive companies are largely impacted by the weather. You see a lot of tire companies such as Goodyear making the claim that they have the best rain tire, they can get you through any weather. Now's the time to really let people know, that it might be time to replace your tires. The tread might be wearing thin. The roads are slippery, etc. There's also accessories such as Rain-X that might want to target when it's pouring rain outside. It makes perfect sense. Why not optimize your advertising spend at exactly the right time when a rain event is occurring? But there's also these indirect products and services that are linked to weather. And I have an image of a pizza delivery guy. Domino's is one large company that's impacted by weather, I'm sure. Seamless Web probably does a lot of business when it's raining like this because people stay inside. WeatherAlpha actually did a comprehensive study of the impact of weather on sales for a large food aggregator in the last couple of years, and we found that when it was raining outside, business actually sales went up 20 to as much as 50% based on the intensity of the rain and the time when the rain occurred. And that kind of information is incredibly valuable for these companies. Here in New York City, it's a Friday night. You would expect the restaurants to be packed, the nightclubs to be packed, the bars to be packed. And I can guarantee you that with the pouring rain, a lot of businesses are going to be seeing less revenue. And you can probably estimate that somewhere in the neighborhood of $10 to $20 million in lost revenue tonight, conservatively, can be attributed to this rainstorm. It may be Friday, it may be payday for a lot of people, but a lot of folks are going to choose to stay at home. And this creates some winners, actually, in the rain game. You can think about movie theaters wanting to advertise around this time. You may have to brave the rain to get out to the movie theater, but once you're there, you're sheltered. It's warm in there. But there's also, people might just want to stay home and renew their subscription with Netflix. There's a lot of entertainment options, perhaps buy a book on Amazon, etc. This is kind of the push-pull relationship that we're talking about. Some people have their sales go down dining in restaurants, whereas some places, such as the Seamless, will probably see increased business as people bag that reservation down the street and say, you know what, let's just stay inside with a glass of wine and some Chinese food. And another idea might be to target craft advertisements around weather. Why not enjoy some time with the family when it's raining outside? Give people an idea to spend their time, spend some quality time, and I've included two large craft retailers. So That's it for today. Please join me again next week as we give you another edition of the Weather and Marketing Report. But in the meantime, this is Dan imploring you to stay dry and keep an eye to the sky. See you soon.